Hi, welcome to the Lunch Alert. Today I'm going to be interviewing my good friend Ed Klein, who is out with a new book called Guilty as Sin about Hillary Clinton. I'll bet you could have guessed who it's about. And Ed, of course, has written three blockbusters before this, Blood Feud, Unlikable, and The Amateur. More about Obama, the amateur, but really a lot about Hillary. And I wanted you to learn about this book, Guilty as Sin. So I think it's quite good. And we're going to talk also about Eileen's and my book, Armageddon. And this will be a series of interviews that we'll do over the next week or two before the election to give you the insights. But the real insights can only come from buying the books, you know. Here we do a 5-minute or 8-minute interview, but there is a vast amount of material in both of them. Hey, Ed, welcome to lunch.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Great to be here.
Good. So how did Houdini do it this time?
Well, if you're referring to Hillary Clinton, and I assume you are.
Houdini Hillary.
Yeah, she skipped out again. The FBI spent more than a year investigating Hillary Clinton. And in my view, and according to my sources, at first, James Comey, the director, really thought that he was going to nail her. And in fact, he had a secret meeting with President Obama in the Oval Office, in which he told the president that he would brook no interference in the investigation. So at that point, he thought he was...
Gutsy thing for the director of the FBI to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he thought that he was heading toward an indictment. But the president, Obama, decided finally to back Hillary Clinton after being very reluctant to do so, because he and Hillary and the Clintons don't get along very well, as we know from Blood Feud. And when the president decided to throw all of his power behind Hillary Clinton, he alerted Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General of the Justice Department, that she was not to cooperate with the FBI. The president also alerted the intelligence community that it, meaning the NSA, the CIA, the DIA, and 17 different agencies in the intelligence community, not to cooperate fully with the FBI. And when that became clear...
Do you think he explicitly said that, or do you think he let it be known?
I think he let it be known, mostly through Valerie Jarrett, his number one advisor. Right. As a result, it became clear to Comey, the director of the FBI, that he was not going to get any cooperation. The Democrats in Congress were already referring to him as Captain Queeg from the Caine Mutiny, court-martial, a little crazy, obsessed. And he finally pulled what I would call a John Roberts as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. As we all remember, came out and voted in favor of Obamacare to save, quote, save the reputation of the Supreme Court. Well, that's exactly what Comey did. In order to save his reputation and the reputation of the FBI, he finally gave in and indicted her politically, but legally he decided to pull in his horns.
Now, Hillary, Guilty as Sin, tells this story. Armageddon, our book, tells a very similar story about an earlier episode in Hillary's life where she also skated completely free. In the 1980s, Hillary was the lawyer for Jim McDougal, who was the head of the Madison Guaranty Savings and Loan Association. And earlier, McDougal had a habit of lending himself money, developing real estate, and then it goes bankrupt and the bank absorbed his losses. The federal regulators closed in on him and said, we're going to take the bank away from you unless you promise never to lend yourself money for a real estate deal. So he still wanted to make money in real estate. So he got a hold of Hillary, hired her as his lawyer, and she lined up Webb Hubbell, her law partner, whose father-in-law, Seth Ward, was named as the purchaser of the property. We call that a straw purchaser. And he would pull away at the last minute and it would then be McDougal's, but they could deceive the regulators into saying it was Seth Ward. Now that's a crime, a felony, deceiving federal regulators. And Hillary did it and was involved in it. And when the time came to prove it, the billing records of her work on that somehow disappeared. And for 2 years, everybody searched for the billing records until finally they one day turned up magically, oddly enough, in the White House. Well, the billing records indicated she had worked for about 60 hours on this deal, on deceiving federal regulators. She was hauled before a grand jury while she was First Lady, and she was asked, "Did you do any legal work on Castle Grande?" And she said, "No." And she said, "I've never heard of Castle Grande. I don't know what you're talking about." Now, the property involved had two names. The original name was Castle Grande, but after the deal began cooking, it was called the Arkansas Industrial Development Commission, ARDC. So she did legal work in her own mind for the ARDC, not for Castle Grande. And she claimed she didn't know Castle Grande. I knew Castle Grande. Everybody did. But because Starr didn't ask her the right question, on that technicality only, she skated out of that courtroom and did not face indictment. That's why we call her Houdini Hillary.
That's right.
Right? So for more details on all of this, and there's more information on both of these scandals, get Ed's book and get mine. I have to warn you, you'll go bankrupt buying all the books that tell you about Hillary's scandals, but you can take a flyer on these two. Thanks for watching.